Guys, we have breaking news coming out of the college sports world as the University of Washington and the University of Oregon are both leaving the Pac-12 reportedly and joining the Big Ten. So this is humongous news. This is something that even as of 2 days ago, we didn't think was going to happen, right? There was reports surfacing that the Pac-12 was trying to add maybe Fresno State, maybe a San Diego State, maybe a SMU, maybe even a Gonzaga. There was lots of talk going on about what schools are going to be added because the Pac-12 wanted to stay afloat, but the media deal was not able to be made. There was a call yesterday with all 9 of the remaining schools, and they kind of just talked over, and it sounds like Washington and Oregon are done. It sounds like the Arizona schools and Utah are also going to leave towards the Big 12, though that's not official yet. So the Pac-12 is basically over, and they spelled their own doom by inviting Apple TV as their potential new host of content, because the problem is not enough people watch Apple TV. That's just the problem. If you're marketing football, it needs to be on television, on cable. I know cable television is kind of a way of the past, and everyone's into streaming, but the SEC and the Big Ten and the Big 12 are on the big networks: Fox, ESPN, CBS. That's where you really need to be if you're in the college football world, or anything, college basketball as well, and women's softball, which gets a lot of views. Those are kind of the sports in college that you watch. You watch football, men's, women's basketball, and women's softball, and maybe a little bit of boys baseball, and maybe some gymnastics. That's kind of what college sports get watched. And if you're on Apple TV, only people who subscribe to Apple TV can watch it, right? So that eliminates a huge amount of the fan base. And obviously, from an Apple TV perspective, this would be a great deal for them, because now they're going to get a bunch of Washington, Oregon, a bunch of Pac-12 fans would have then subscribed to Apple TV. That would be the hope. But the downside is, if you can't afford to pay $10 a month or however much it is for Apple TV, then you're kind of screwed, right? Because then you can't watch your favorite team play, and you can't even really find a way to illegally stream an Apple TV. I mean, that's just not how it goes. So you're cheating a lot of fans, a lot of loyal fans, out of being able to watch your games by making them pay $10 a month. Like, if you can afford it, fans who can afford it would have done it, but fans who couldn't afford it wouldn't have. And so that's where you're left with, is that Washington, Oregon, Arizona State, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, UCLA, USC, 8 out of the 12 schools now are wanting out of the conference. So Pac-12, they're pretty much done. I don't really know what their plan is going forward. They're not going to be adding any more schools, I highly doubt. At this point, Wazoo and OSU and Stanford and Cal are going to have to fight it out amongst themselves and where they're going to end up. But with Washington and Oregon, here's what's interesting. So they're going to take, this is what the reports are saying, they're going to take 50% cut of what they would have regularly earned from the Big Ten. The Big Ten would now be up to 18 schools, because they already added USC, UCLA, right? It's going to be weird with these West Coast schools playing against all the Midwestern places, but that's just how it's going to be. Like, we might be watching some Washington versus Ohio, Washington, Michigan, Washington, Wisconsin. These are going to be big games. These are going to be good games. Michael Penix, we know he's legit. He's going to be able to compete, and we know that, I'm not sure how good Bo Nix will be for the why am I forgetting the Oregon mascot? The Oregon Ducks, the Ducks. But they're going to be competitive too, because they always are. So at least from a football perspective, I think they're going to be very competitive in a lot of these games, and I think they're going to vault right into the top of that conference. I think they're going to have a chance, probably not win it, but they're going to be able to compete in this conference. But as far as what the deal is, so the vote is expected to happen today. It's expected to be a unanimous vote to allow Washington and Oregon into the Pac-12. And when that happens, it's going to change the state of college sports for a long time. They'll still be in the Pac-12 for one more year. So 2023, it's going to be the Pac-12 as always. But in 2024, Washington and Oregon, as well as USC and UCLA, will be in the Big Ten, which is really the Big 18. But I think they're still going to call it the Big Ten, I guess, for now. They'll have a real media rights deal. They will have a real way for their fans to be able to watch their games. And so it's a win-win for everyone, and they'll have tougher competition. So their sports will hopefully be up to the next level. It's just a loss for, I guess, their travel costs, and it's a loss for fans of the Pac-12, and really a loss for fans of Wazoo, Oregon State, and Stanford, because they're the schools that are kind of getting left out in all of this, and it makes sense. Those are the bad ones. Those are the schools that aren't good at sports are going to be left out. But, yeah, so the deal happening today, that's supposedly when the vote's going to be. They're going to get 50% for the first 2 years. That's still more than they would be making under the supposed Apple TV potential deal. So they're going to be making more than they would even by taking only 50% of their usual cut. So they'll end up getting even more money in the future, but the first couple years they're going to have to give up some of the money towards the other schools as kind of like a thank you for letting us join the conference. So anyways, this is huge news. I'm sure we'll do more analysis on this later on, but I just thought I needed to bring it to you. I am camping, so the quality's not great, but the sports world never sleeps, and neither do I. So no matter what happens, I'll be here to give you guys all the news. This has been Levi, the NW Sportscast. Like, comment down below. What does this mean for the future of the Huskies? What does this mean for the future of the Pac-12? What does this mean for the future of the Big Ten? And what does this mean for the future in college sports and college football entirely? Let us know down below, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Threads, follow us on X. We'll appreciate all the support.